The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. Join us once again in the shed as our stalwart party of heroes picks up this session caught in an ambush. Listen in to see how Mickie, JJ, Kurt, Brit, and Joe handle this latest obstacle in our Dungeon World campaign. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome back to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, on Facebook, on iTunes, on Twitter, on Stitcher Radio, on Bing. All over the place. That's where you can find us. We're going to go around the table and say hi, starting with...
Hi, everyone. This is Mickie. I play Nessalus, the tiefling. Woohoo!
Yay!
She got it right.
She did.
JJ here, playing Calamity, the paladin, using his heroic voice.
Ooh, heroic. Like it.
Excellent. Hey, this is Kurt. I am playing Truk, the human monk, with a little bit of druid thrown in for spice.
Hey guys, this is Brittany, and I'm playing Elena, or the other way around. I never know how to say that.
But you got it. You got both names in there this time. And I am Joe. I am the game master for this Dungeon World campaign set in the world of Alamand. I want to try something a little different today that I didn't talk about off air, so I'll take everybody by surprise a little bit. We're going to do a recap of our last session, and we're going to go around the table doing it one sentence at a time.
Wait, what?
Oh,
Like
wow.
Mad Libs?
We're going to Mad Lib
What did we
our
talk
last
about
session.
this?
Exactly. I just said we didn't talk about it. So
Yeah, get off your phone.
Pay attention.
Brittany's been playing some game on her phone all day, so she's been a little distracted. We're going to start. I'll start it off. At the beginning of our last session, our party had found their way out of the temple, gathered up Wylena and the wagon, and made their way on the road towards... Mickie?
Oh, I don't know the name of the city. It starts with a C. Carthal.
Okay.
We made our way towards Carthal. Truk was the scout. Calamity was the quartermaster. No, Trailblazer. Nessalus was the quartermaster.
And now over to JJ.
And then once we got to Carthal, we discovered that two of my minions had settled down with women, so I managed to pick up one of those. And we talked a little bit with Hevid.
Yep. And what did Hevid say, Kurt?
Hevid searched his tome of the swords that his family had made during prior generations because we had inquired about the history of the swords we had found and also of the one that we think may be a fourth sword or perhaps a combination of the three, which is called
The Heart of the Night.
Heart of the Night. And he did not know particularly of it, but had a page at the very back of his tome where the prophecy that we had received was also written in an odd script.
Yeah.
Do-do-do-do-do.
So after leaving Carthal, what happened? How did we finish the last episode, Britt?
So, there was lightning, and it came from, we're not entirely sure where.
we were
We
ambushed.
made a perilous
Yeah.
journey.
Yeah.
We were ambushed.
And it was
And our
perilous.
scout failed.
And our scout failed.
And everybody received electricity because of this.
Yes.
But your scout has some
Except
awesome
Elena, who
repulsive.
can't be surprised.
Exactly.
And he had some awesome repulsive elemental mastery. So it
Of
wasn't
course,
as bad as it
the
could
flip
have
side to that is Britt can be surprised, and she can forget that Elena can't be surprised. Therefore,
I remembered nobody would let me talk.
it was after. Interject. We are now ready, after we got through, we'll call it our initial round of combat, where the lightning came out and shocked nearly everybody, and Truk threw up an elemental barrier around himself to try and deflect the next round of lightning. That next round of lightning was happening as we closed the last episode. Who wants to step up to the plate?
Do I hear which direction the chant? You said there was chanting last time.
Yeah, well, there's the somatic components of casting a spell. You hear, you especially
As a
Nessalus,
wizard, exactly.
You recognize
I would recognize the chanting of
Yeah.
a spell. Can I tell which direction they're coming from?
They're kind of all around you. It's more of a roll at this point, and that would be a discern realities to determine that what the things around you.
And so
And
let's
that's under
first
your
roll.
basic move sheet, and that's a wisdom roll.
That's a 7.
And also,
No,
as a
5,
reminder,
2, 7.
this is immediately picking up after the failure that Elena had rolled about trying to discern realities.
I have a 7.
This is a reminder. There's a lingering failure in the air.
So there's an air of failure in the air as Nessalus looks around and tries to discern
Where did that failure come
her
from?
reality. On a 7 to 9, I ask one question from below,
Okay.
and it says take +1 forward when acting on the answers.
Yeah.
So what happened here recently? What is about to happen? What should I be on the lookout for?
Lightning.
That
No, I'm going to answer the real question you're asking.
lightning,
You want to know where the things came from, and that's a good point, using that question.
I think lightning is a perfectly good answer.
Yeah.
don't be a dick.
You got a 7, right? Not a 12.
You can see, in the waning hours of the day, you can see the glint of the fading sunlight off of some scales off maybe 20 feet outside of the camp, and you hear the slithering sounds of that snake-like tongue casting this spell.
To which Nessalus responds, "How many of you do I have to kill?" Hey guys,
And you
be
hear-
on the lookout for Nagas.
Which way did he go, George? Which way did he go?
7.
To the rest of the party, she'll shout, "Be on the lookout for Nagas." Can I still
Yeah.
cast something?
You have a +1 forward when acting, so we'll take it organically. You looked around quickly, you saw something, and you start casting your spell.
Blast it.
You have a blast it spell?
I have an Eldritch Blast,
Go for it.
otherwise known as Magic Missile,
Heck yeah, dog.
for which I rolled a 9 on the dice plus my 3 intelligence,
That sure as heck works.
which is a 12.
Uh-huh.
That works.
And I'm just going to keep it. I'm not going to up it.
Okay.
'Cause
So
I don't
go
know how
ahead
many
and roll your
powers.
damage.
I don't know how many I'm dealing with here. Why did I put away my 2d4s?
Because you're lazy.
She's not lazy. She rolled a low initiative.
Nice.
And Brittany is referencing the shirt I'm wearing.
No, she was referencing the shirt I'm wearing.
6. Well, you wearing the shirt I'm wearing. Wait, no, that sounded wrong.
You guys wearing the same
so-
shirt? Ba-da-ba.
I'm
6.
wearing it inside out.
Hey, it's like the three-legged racer you were talking about inside
Exactly,
the burlap
in the
sack.
sack.
That's what I
yeah.
was thinking.
In the sack. 6 damage.
Okay.
To the Naga that caught my wrath.
So the Eldritch Blast still looks like a blast of teen angst, if I remember right.
Absolutely.
A yellow crackling
Emojis.
energy of some type.
Yeah, but I think...
Emojis.
So here's how I picture
She's
it.
grown a little.
She's grown a
Yeah.
little. She's gotten older. So as before, it was just raw, hormonal energy, like just anger and emotion and no clarity around who she was or what she was doing. I think now, as she's grown older, it's more focused.
So it's not all frowny emojis.
It's not all frowny emojis. I think there's just more of a subtlety to her craft, and she can control it a little better.
I think that's well worded. It's more of a craft now. There's artistic substance
Whereas
to it.
before it was just almost a primal, just innate.
Do you do like a
talent?
like Angelina Jolie from Wanted, where you curve it
I
around
don't
the
curve
tree?
the bullet.
You
no.
don't curve the missile.
No, but whereas before it was just
curves
like
on
just
its own.
raw talent.
Yeah.
Now she's learned to
Okay.
channel her energy, and it's a little more controlled.
Is she still immature enough to sign each one?
Oh, so she's lost a talent then.
She hasn't lost any talent.
It's no longer raw. It's cooked talent.
It's talent.
As the blast hits, you can see that the 6 foot high slithering creature that you just hit falls to the ground as the blast hits
Don't
it.
mess with me.
And
So
who
that's
wants to
the
step
talent?
up next? What's that?
I was making a comment that the Naga is the talent because it's cooked. But,
All right, so
Why?
JJ just took Calamity's turn.
I did. I rolled a 5 on my joke.
Yep. Fail. So there's now
Mark
another
XP.
lingering failure in the air.
Yeah.
You know, that's
yeah.
a good point, Kurt. Brit, did you mark experience when you rolled the failure at the end of the last episode?
Yes.
I told her to.
All right, good. All right, who wants to step up next?
No, it will be Calamity stepping
for it.
up, and he's going to charge forth into battle.
All right.
And
Why
I'm
do you have an accent
assuming
about it?
So now the only one that was obvious is now also no longer with us.
exactly. So I'm going to charge that direction, assuming that they have formed like a little semicircle.
Okay.
Because you don't want crossfire when you shoot lightning bolts.
Okay, I'll buy that.
So
Doesn't
I had
mean
that
you're
direction.
right.
Is there
Tell
any?
you what I want to do here is, because of what you just described, let's do a spout lore.
Oh wow!
Because you just described something smart, and that's intelligence.
You are smart.
And provided
Sometimes.
there is success here, I will give you some useful information. Do you still have a -1?
8
I got an 8.
Okay.
plus nothing.
So as you are charging in that direction, you notice around you where the lightning bolts seared or scarred the ground, might be a better way to put it. They are in a kind of a crisscrossing pattern that is almost like an asterisk,
So like a
but
pentagram.
not like each side wouldn't have hit somebody directly, or would have hit somebody directly opposing, but there's gaps.
Okay.
So clearly you were surrounded, and there aren't any two things in one spot. But you would charge forth. You see the mangled snake body of the one that Nessalus just blasted. And as you reach there, if you follow what you had saw as a scarred mark on the ground, there's one over to your side, probably just out of reach of what you can do right now. However, you could somehow, if you choose, indicate to somebody else where to go. You could tell a party member where to go.
Yeah, I will. I will throw the bola that I have.
The
Poured it.
Ebola?
The Ebola.
Yeah, the Ebola. I'm going to give it Ebola, which is the amalgamation of Ebola and E. coli just into one superbug.
Don't give them any ideas.
So my point being, do you want to show either Truk or Elena?
Yeah, I'm going to throw the Ebola just to
Okay.
tangle the snake.
It's tangled. Did it grow its hair out?
You can get its legs stuck together.
Exactly.
They're vestigial.
Yeah.
Vestigial, exactly.
So this will allow them to see where I threw it if I hit.
I'm trying to think if there's
You know
a
what?
leader. Do we have
Let's
any
do
sense for
this.
there being a leader?
We'll call that an aid.
Okay, yeah.
That's going to be an aid move, so add +1 to your roll.
Who's
I'm
adding?
just going to say add +1 because we didn't really do the bond thing yet, but let's just assume you have a bond with somebody.
I have a bond with everybody.
Yeah.
You have a bone to pick with
Which is
everyone.
good.
I have a bond with everybody. They're all my bond girls.
So what'd you get?
I have a 7 on my roll.
A say?
I think Wileen is
say
the only bond.
That gives you +1, and you
say?
expose
Wileen
yourself
is
to
the
some
only bond
danger.
girl.
That's
here.
cool.
Okay. So who was going to step up next?
Well,
Truk?
Truk is trying to figure out if there's a leader, if he can discern whether there's a leader anywhere.
So here's the deal. Whoever steps up next will get Calamity's indicator of where one of them is and get a +1 to what they do.
What do you think, Truk?
well, I don't necessarily just want a +1 against any of them. If there's a
Yeah.
whole circle, I'm trying to
So
understand.
you are discerning realities, my friend.
Okay.
Go
Which is
for
a what modifier?
Wisdom.
And you get a +1.
8 + 1 is 9.
Okay.
Plus your...
Well,
+1.
well,
Yeah.
only the aid that he was given was to go after the one he indicated. And
Right.
if you're looking around, that's not going to be that.
Yeah, it's
so
not-
it'll be whoever goes after that
Right.
one.
Right.
I'm kind of manipulating
Oh,
that a little.
set
that
in
up
that he just he put a laser pointer on somebody
Okay.
essentially, but you're not.
So
you're
I'm
not
8 +
focused on that.
1
side.
on discern realities.
Yes. So what's your total?
9.
On discern realities, you get to ask one of those questions.
It also says on 7 and 9, ask 1, take +1 forward when acting on answer.
Yes. Now you can ask exactly what
no,
you wanted
yeah.
or fit it into one of the
No, one
questions.
is perfect.
Yeah.
Who's really in control here?
All right. Amongst the surroundings, so you look around and you see several of them, and the scales on them are glimmering in the sunlight, and the color is the deep reddish orange color from the sunlight, but one of them clearly glistens with a different color, and it is the one farthest to your right. We'll just put it that way.
All right. So to the extent I can, I'm going to signal
Yep.
because my sense is that we're to some degree surrounded.
Yep.
And it would be better to take out the leader rather than fighting random members. So I'm going to signal to
The one on the right.
direct attacks to that person.
Elena, Truk has just signaled which one to go after, and how do you do that?
Well, so I was going to say, so I get a +1 on attacks against that,
The
or
next
everyone.
thing you do, based on the information you just received, you get a +1 on that.
So can I treat that as if I yell it properly, that that's a +1 aid to whoever attacks, or how
You
does
would
that
get
work?
a +1 to your aid roll.
Okay, then I would like to use as an tell me if I'm wrong, but I would like to use as an aid, signaling that, basically by, let's see how I can do this.
Well,
best.
here's the deal. When you indicate to Elena, you are helping her. You then trigger the move aid or interfere.
Right.
Because you're helping her, and the next thing you do, you're getting a +1 to, you would get a +1 to your aid roll.
Right. I'm just wondering if I can get that broader than just to Elena by some spectacular motion. Like,
Well, aid is when you specifically help someone. And I'm saying Elena because we're just going to pick on Brit next.
right.
Therefore,
So
it
I'm
makes
not
sense.
going to pick on Brit. Instead, I'm going to, if I can,
You can.
use my elemental mastery
Oh, crap.
to try to
dear.
shoot.
He's really going
to
after
try to
this.
shoot a. I don't want to use electricity.
What would
A
dissipate?
fireball at the leader. The idea being
you
that would
can-
be a signal, not so much that I'm trying to do damage, but I'm trying to
All right.
signal to the others that that's where we want to go.
So you are going to draw an arrow with fire more so than a fireball because Nessalus casts fireball.
No, this is much more a signal fire.
Okay.
Can I
So,
do that?
yeah, kind of like what I said, the end result of what JJ did with Calamity. You're putting a laser pointer on the one to go
Right,
after next.
and if it helps, I'm also yelling this one.
This one.
Oh,
this
are
one.
you freaking kidding me? I rolled a 4 + 1, 5.
All right, so that is an, what would that be?
That was a curse word. That was a curse word.
Yeah, I'm going to start it as a spectacular failure, and let's see where it goes from there.
Right. So some catastrophe occurs as a
It
result
can
of
only
my
go
call.
up.
Yeah. I like this is one of the moves that actually says what the 6- is, and it literally uses the word catastrophe, just so everyone knows.
Correct.
So not only
Plus-
snakes, but cats.
Plus,
And they're not laughing.
you still didn't have control over the previous effect, the shield that you put around you.
Correct.
There is, at this point, I'm going to shift the camera to Elena next, but as that happens, the whole frame of the camera starts to shake as an earthquake is starting from the feet of Truk.
Fantastic. Good job, Truk.
Elena, the
Yeah.
ground is starting to shake.
It smells like clean cotton.
Calamity,
Calamity
has
Truk is feeling
So
Calamity has
Strangely,
thrown
what I'm
Ebola
gathering-
at a snake.
what I'm
mastery
gathering
for elements.
is that I've got two different party members signaling in two different directions.
Oh, Truk didn't signal anything.
okay.
The whole
You
earth
just-
is shaking at his feet right now, and
Okay.
like I said, you think of the camera, the whole thing shaking, like on the bridge of the Enterprise in Star Trek.
I didn't get that reference.
Okay,
You just dated yourself.
I did. I like me though, so I'll go on dates with me.
Oh.
So what's Elena want to do?
Ebola is the
You going to do Ebola? Good.
that's
If you're going
the
after the
thing.
one that has clearly been
it's the
indicated
rope with
by
like
Calamity,
two rocks,
Yep.
right? Okay, I'm gonna chase that
It's actually
and figure out what
It's 3 rocks.
3 rocks.
Yeah,
Why are you whispering?
because it's a secret.
Whispering's not good for a podcast.
Wait, that might have been a
whispering
bond.
is okay because it's an audio podcast. You can hear the whisper if you're listening. Just pointing and stuff, not okay. Whispers, fine.
Whispers is
Plus,
pointing,
it's a
but
stage whisper.
with words.
I'd just like to note that Truk found out who the leader was,
And be able
but
to
he
indicate
he
it.
No.
really doesn't
no
master
one
his
really
elements
cares.
very well.
All right, so
Sometimes.
what you got, Brit? What you got, Brit?
I'm gonna follow the
All
Ebola
right, do it.
Okay. So you're going to go attack
and
that one.
Attack
How are you
whatever
going to
that-
attack it?
With her toe.
with my.
I told you so.
That's a thought over there.
I have a pixie in another game that she's actually a monk. She just attacks things by kicking them.
By the way, a pixie monk is a punk.
It-
I want you to know that.
she is a punk.
Yep.
She definitely is. But no, I'm not a monk in this game. So, with my cool new sword, which I'm still expecting to do something.
It might eventually. Who knows?
And what kind of naga is it?
The snaky kind
The
that
snake
casts
naga?
spells.
It's
So it's
lightning?
not a bone.
No,
not
these
a bone
are
naga.
actual serpent types. The only bone naga, maybe I'd never clarified, but either way, the only bone naga that you've ever encountered were those ones at the camp. So all of the other encounters at the monastery, at the temple, right now, these are all flesh and blood snakes, but sentient spirit things.
Snake meat.
And the other thing that we had learned
I've heard
about
it tastes like
Naga
chicken.
back when we learned about the bone Naga was that Naga don't necessarily die; they come back as
They get
another Naga. Yeah,
They get reincarnated.
yeah. And in the D&D terms, it was something like they had this tag of immortal or something like that. They just keep coming back. And the bone Naga are just ones that are stuck in between.
What's Brit going? What is Elena gonna do? Elena.
Alyssana?
Alyssana.
That's a pretty cool name, too. That'd be
That's
an
actually a
elf.
pretty badass name.
That'd be an elf name, I think.
Alyssana.
Wow, that's pretentious. With her cool new sword,
Yeah.
probably towards the
There's no probably.
face
Do
area.
or do not. There is no probably.
Right. Yeah. Strength for attacking. That's good.
And
No, it's
therefore,
not. That's a 7.
a 7. Hey, that's a hack and
Wait.
slash with a success. You do get a plus
Plus
1.
8.
Yeah.
So it's 8.
Yeah.
Not that changes the outcome.
No, functionally same as a 7. So on hack and slash, you deal your damage, and it deals its damage back to you.
Oh, she rolled a 1.
So you deal 1.
Damage.
1 damage.
And as you hit it,
No.
the sword kind of glances off of its scale, and it finishes its lightning bolt spell, and you take a d8 of damage.
That's just, it's not the same. 2.
Which
Tit for
ignores
tat.
armor.
Okay.
It wasn't quite tit for tat, but it was close enough. Is it Elena?
I would like to know where to find the second item and where I can exchange it for the first.
Is it?
Okay. So
So
I have
that's-
Does she
tits,
have an
but
armor-
snakes only
armor-
have tats.
Armor
So-
reduction?
No,
not
not
for
for
lightning.
lightning bolt. No. Most magic things ignore armor. Like just about all of Nessilis's spells ignore armor as well.
So is it Nessilis's turn?
It is whomever's ready to step up to the plate. The next lightning bolts are imminent. What do you-
Fireball.
All right, so you can cast at the same time. I'll let you know that if you don't do something about the lightning bolts being cast, you will be hit by it, but your fireball will go off too.
All right, so here's my thing. So Nessilis, as a wizard, knows that this type of incantation or spell that they're casting requires concentration. So her goal is going to be
Sure, why
to
not?
try to break their concentration.
Okay. I like that.
Okay?
So go ahead and cast your fireball. Let's see how successful it might be.
Nice to be playing D&D in Dungeon World, huh?
I apologize to all
I like it,
those
though.
No, that's
Dragon
perfectly
World.
okay.
purists.
That's hilarious. My wife this morning, she
Dungeon
forgot I was
World.
gaming today, and she's like, "Oh, so what are you doing? Playing Dragon World?" I was
Yeah.
like, "No, Dungeon World." She's like,
Yeah, whatever.
"Dungeons, Dragons, Dragons, Dungeons, Dungeon World, Dragon World. What the fuck?"
Apologies to all the Dungeon World purists out there.
Well,
Regardless,
if they're Dungeon World purists, they should accept you saying that Nessilis knows this.
I rolled
That's how
a
it works.
10.
All right, and I was waiting for that. If you got the 10 plus, I was going to let you interrupt it. So that
I've
works.
that would be a 13 with her.
So go ahead
intelligence.
and roll your damage, and because a fireball booms, I'm going to let it hit 2 of them, and because Calamity had indicated 1, we'll start with that one.
Wait,
and
a
I'll hit the
fireball
one near
booms?
to it. Fireball.
Well, think about it, because it expands quickly within air, so that would sound as a sonic boom.
It was
I
just funny
say
because
that.
Joe just said a fireball.
Booms, I did. But the spell specifically, it does damage to everything nearby.
6.
As the keyword nearby.
It is what one might call an area of effect spell.
And AoE.
It
Yes.
is that indeed.
Man, you guys over there are rolling hot today. Can we swap dice?
No, these are my loaded dice.
I've been rolling 4s and 5s and 8s, and
You can now have the Mandalay Bay.
Mickie actually just has a recording of dice rolling on her phone. She hasn't really picked up a die at all. She just
Good
presses the
Lord.
button, it plays the sound, and then she
Good
says
Lord.
10.
These are the Mandalay Bay loaded dice that Joe lent me.
They're very cool, too.
I checked before she used them. They're not.
Yeah,
loaded
and to be fair,
Shut up. If I think they're loaded, they'll
I
roll
used
better.
those previously in a different game, and they got to the point where they were referred to as the fucking Mandalay Bay dice, because no, they weren't any good.
that's fun.
So it's Mickie. Mickey's
So it's
got
all
the
me.
touch.
I need
Yes.
to. Okay, ladies, the secret is to rub it on your boobs first, and then you roll.
That's why
No.
I didn't
Oh,
do it.
yeah,
I've
that
done
totally
that.
works for me.
It doesn't work.
Hey, will you do that again?
You want me to rub it on
Yeah.
the boob first?
It's an audio podcast.
Will you rub it on mine?
You want me to rub it
Calamity.
on
Too bad you're married.
The when that fireball hit, it knocked out the Naga there and the one next to it, and it started a small forest fire.
Tiny. Teeny
Now,
tiny.
did
Not as fire
is
in a
my
small forest.
Ebola damaged as well?
It is probably consumed in the flame.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Woman?
I totally hit the one you signaled.
She just cured Ebola, and you're going to complain.
Wait, you hit the one that I'm right in front of?
I don't know. Which one did I hit? GM.
Yes, she did. But you can't be surprised, so you're all set.
You hit the deck before the fireball hit.
Now, if you'd like, Brit, you can take 6 damage. I won't stop you.
Is Nessalus currently my enemy?
No.
Depends on if you take the damage or not.
I don't know.
Where
How has the
where
teacher
are
been?
the other Naga located?
So there are, and I was being serious earlier when she said, "How many do I have to kill?" And I said 7. There were 7 of them. She has now taken care of 3, so there are 4 more on the opposite sides of the camp.
Come on, you guys. Pick
I
up
would
the
like to
slack.
head toward the next
Still
one.
only counts
Okay.
as one.
The closest one to me.
And as that happens, as you're headed towards it, a lightning bolt heads towards you. What are you doing about that?
I will grin and bear.
Okay, there's a Constitution Defy Danger
say-
right there.
Brendan Barrett.
Grin and bear it.
That was the name of a photo company that I worked for. They did school.
nice.
That's a 12.
They did what?
School photography.
A 12 is definitely more than enough that you won't get hurt when you hurt it.
So basically, what happens is, with my hack and slash not working, so
Oh yeah, duh. We were just doing Defy Danger. You did not get hurt at all.
true. But what I wanted was for me to get hit by the lightning bolt, but be connecting with him, so the lightning bolt just went whoop back into him. But my hack and slash
Well,
did not
crap.
work.
Well,
So
hold
you
on
did
then.
take backsies, like your rubber, their glue.
You know
Yeah,
what? Because
I'm wearing full plate.
Because I like what you just said. Let's reword your charge.
Okay.
You're just going to grin and bear it.
Yeah.
But let's say that while you're charging forward, the lightning bolt gets captured in the metal of your sword as you're charging forward, and you contact.
Okay.
You had a very good Defy Danger roll.
Dude, that's awesome.
So let's do that. And because of that, if you had described it all together, then I would have just let that happen. So that's pretty cool. So let's do that first off. And then
Okay.
roll me. You know what? We're not going to roll. You're just going to kill it.
Oh, nice.
Your sword will hit it because it's going to be enough damage, most likely, to kill it. Anyway, its spell's going to rebound back on itself, and it's not going to know what the hell to do, except die.
And then come back to life because that's what Naga do.
Eventually, yes. It'll show back up later, and it's going to be all pissed off at you, I'm sure.
Naga do what Naga do.
Yeah. Truk,
Yes.
what you doing now? And I forgot to keep mentioning, the earth is shaking and cracking. One of the wagon's wheels has now fallen into a crack in the earth.
Right. So Truk is just living the dream.
Yes.
Except for
Yes,
why
he is.
Lena's in that wagon, isn't
And to
she?
be honest, the thing about Truk is he's not a particularly
Smart.
self-reflexive person. Like, he thinks a lot about how to live and how to be a good monk and how to grow his power, but he's not a particularly self-reflexive person. But
And over
he's-
the last few days, he's been concentrating on growing his beard as well.
that's correct.
That's part of the monk way.
But he is doubting his powers a little bit because he has tried to master the elements a couple of times here, and it has not worked out quite the way that
Only
he thought.
one didn't work out, though. He shouldn't lose too much.
Well, only
confidence.
one worked out horribly. Another worked out
Yeah.
so-so. So he's having a little moment of self-doubt. He's also a little conflicted because Nessalus, who had paid him a lot of attention back in the day and he'd kind of ignored.
And while he's having these thoughts, one of his feet is swallowed into the ground.
Right, so exactly. So he's getting swallowed into the ground. He's like, whoa, Nessalus is like,
Super hot.
she's getting a lot more in charge of her powers, and there's something strangely hot about that.
She's standing over there rubbing dice on her boob.
Yeah, well, that
That
also-
is super hot.
No, but let's keep it in the
Power
role playing
passion
world. He's got a lot. He's got a lot of shit going on right
yeah,
now.
he
long
does.
enough.
He's got his elf whose wagon is about to fall into an earthquake.
Yeah,
Did you say
He's got
Elifu?
his elf.
Elf.
His elf
Who's
minions.
Elf.
His foot is in the ground.
yeah.
Nessalus the tiefling, who is a very attractive young woman, but who is really annoying and bratty.
Before.
maybe is getting a little more in control of herself.
She's growing into her
And she
powers.
is blowing the hell out of stuff.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff going on. All of a sudden, his focus, his monk-like focus, is not what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
He is temporarily distracted and it is affecting his combat prowess. There's no doubt about it.
Okay.
So in this particular moment, he's like, wow, if I don't get my act together, I'm going to die. So I need to
I like
focus.
that realization. That's a good one.
So I have to focus my chi,
Okay.
my life force, into getting out of this situation.
All right, so you have 1 foot being sucked, well, maybe not sucked into the ground, fallen into the ground as the
Right.
crack opened up and a lightning bolt headed straight forward. What is Troop doing right now?
Well, and I have my wagon with Wylena.
yeah. Oh, it's,
Your
it's
attempts-
everyone's wagon.
Your-
Right,
your
also in danger.
attempts to hurry
so
him are not
he's
working.
he's going broke. He's going for broke. Ready?
Yeah.
Your elven love interest is about
I'm going
to
for broke. I'm going to try to use elemental mastery, which has failed me once and only partially succeeded me once before. I'm going for broke. I'm going to master the element of the air.
You're going for broken.
Jamie.
Don't melt my humidifier.
JJ's trying to burn a stink bug to death as we speak.
Uh,
All right, listen. We got to focus here.
All right,
this is,
Peter,
this is all or
folks.
nothing. I'm going 26
Yep.
hit points to none.
Yep.
I'm going to try to use elemental mastery with my +1 wisdom modifier, which is Jack,
Yeah.
to master air.
Yeah. In order to
Joe's having to focus because he's like,
in order to
bring a gust, a single. All right, so I'm going to take my hands to my right, 2 hands, completely focused. Gust of wind. I'm going to channel the air.
Use
to
your
bring
core.
a gust of wind with my core, full power, to take the wagon and in a single motion pick the wagon with wind, throw it across the field of battle.
oh my god. Yeah.
I hope they're wearing their seatbelts.
Nothing
No, this is all or nothing. I'm not. You can kill me.
No,
you
no,
can kill Truk.
To me, the funny part is if it's successful, it's catastrophic. What happens if it fails?
All I'm saying is you can kill Truk if this fails. We're going all for nothing.
Okay.
To pick the wagon of minions,
Yep.
including Mylene, and throw them
You wanna
across,
get them out of
over
harm's
the
way.
air, over Calamite and Nessalus and Elena's heads, and off the field of battle beyond
Okay.
the
You want to get them
Naga that are shooting.
out of the line of fire.
And as part of that, the air from the blast would also wipe the arc, a quarter of arc of the circle of whatever Naga are in the way.
All right.
Jesus.
And put out the fire that fireball started.
Or if
Or
I'm
I
successful.
Or I probably fall
And then
into
peace
the
is
earthquake.
restored to the world. We get it.
all right.
And if I
after
die, I die. I don't care.
after all of that, you still get to roll 2d6. Let's see what happens. And
I
add
think
one
you should get
to it.
inspiration points just because of what he described.
And
I totally agree that in D&D, I would get inspiration for that.
Which you could use to re-roll another roll later, and no one ever used them anyway. Therefore,
I rolled a 7 plus 1 wisdom is 8.
8. And
That's a success.
Which seems like an appropriate result.
on that move, then you get to pick one of the 3 things there. And what are you going to pick? You remember what they are?
I do, and I just want to make absolutely sure. So just for the people at home, my 3 choices here, I get to either retain control,
Yeah.
I get to avoid paying nature's price, or
You
I
actually
get
get
the
the
effect
effect that you
the
want.
desire it comes to pass.
That's a pretty simple choice.
Yeah, I will get the effect I desire to come to pass.
But you will lose control,
That's fine.
and you will pay nature's price.
Correct.
Okay. I would like
okay.
I would like to hear a little bit. Everybody heard the description.
Uh-huh.
I'm curious from the player's perspective, based on what Kurt just described of what was going to happen. What would nature's price be for that?
Well, he just...
He gets swallowed into the earth. Ha ha ha.
No, I mean, he basically just stepped up and moved a relatively large-sized object.
Wagon.
A
Which is
fair
still
amount,
attached to horses
Right? So let's think about the
and
physics.
people.
I honestly, this sounds almost like if he were to move this much wind that fast, that is a sonic boom in his face.
Yeah, he would have to get blasted back because the
Okay.
recoil. For
So you
every
think-
action, there's an equal and opposite
So you
reaction.
think nature's price is going to be paid by Truk?
I think that the backlash of moving that much weight.
So I get that, and I was going to use that as where he loses control.
So
but
he
now
would
let's
get,
say that were nature's price. What would it be if he lost control of this?
I would think it would be kind of like a reverberation or a bounce back of the energy, and he would get tumbled backwards several feet.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to use some of that. I like it. The way this is going to work first is in order for nature to expend that much energy at your behest, it wants some energy back. So as this big gust of wind forces all of these things, the wagon, the minions, Wylena, the horses, off to the side and creates this extra burst to blow back the Naga, its price might not be so evident yet, but there is a price to be paid. And as part of that blowback, like Mickie had mentioned, Truk is forced down to his waist in the earth, which kind of solidifies around him, and he's pretty much stuck there. The lightning bolt happens still, and you will take a D8 of damage. And from there, there's kind of a big dust cloud now in the area. And perhaps everybody at this point realizes there's no more sound. It's like the dust that got stirred up has kind of deadened the area with sound. No more casting sounds, no more lightning, just the settling of rocks and pebbles as everything falls back to the ground.
Fantastic. So what next?
That's my question to you. What next?
So do the rest of us see him waist deep in
Yes,
earth?
but Truk would hope
Uh-oh.
that his action, his selfless protection of innocence, inspires his party onto greatness, even though he, to some degree, failed in his own right.
So building off of that, right? So Nessalus would turn and see this and be like, and just for a moment,
For a moment.
for a glinting few nanoseconds, remember that she originally had a crush on Truk. That was kind of like her first awakening, the first blossoming, if you will. So she would instinctively want to try to protect him and would yell to Elena, we need to help Truk out.
We need to
So-
Stand-
What
Fuck
you
you.
do is you put him in a cage.
That's a good point. So then would I then put him in... Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. So...
You would have to describe how it works
Hold
based
on.
on what the spell
So
can
she would
do.
turn. Think about it. Think about it in the film. You see it on screen. She turns, sees him.
Theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind. She sees him buried
Yes.
to the waist. He's pretty vulnerable. Yells to Elena. Elena battle positions. At the same time, she throws her cage around him to protect him.
So how does Cage work?
So Cage basically...
Yeah,
Ooh,
what
there's
does
a
it
peanut.
say, and how do you want to use that?
So a cage is a target is held in a cage of magical force. Nothing can get in or out of the cage.
Mm-hmm.
The cage remains until you cast another spell or dismiss it. While the spell is ongoing, the cage creature can hear your thoughts, and you cannot leave sight of the cage. So if she's going to throw up a cage to protect him from any future lightning strikes, nothing can get
Or
in.
the earth crushing him to death?
Nothing can get in or out. So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
basically protected in a little bubble of cage magic. And that's why she would call to Elena to watch her back, because she can't be distracted while she holds the spell.
Yeah, that's cool. I like
what
it.
does Nessalus's cage look like?
Why don't we do like the anime glowy
Okay.
colors?
What does anime glowy look like?
So
For those of us who only read hentai and not anime.
for those of us who only read hentai
Well,
and
you know the
Read or
colors
browse?
that
the
tentacles
target of the
glow?
cage would then start changing colors. So you would
Iridescent.
start kind of glowing.
Okay. All right, let's roll to cast that spell.
Oh shit! I still have to roll.
Yeah,
up
you
for
do
that.
have to. You do have to. actually
JJ gave her
make
the
that
idea. Does he get some kind of aid roll?
JJ does, but Calamity doesn't.
No.
Damn it, James!
Come on, Calamity.
I don't need your damn help.
She just made a dice
Go on
noise
with your
and she's
bad
gonna say
self.
10.
You got a 10.
I
See?
did get a 10.
That's my point. She just made some dice noise and then says 10.
It's a 10.
That's perfect.
It's a 10.
All right. So what you have said comes to pass.
You are now protected. Now dig yourself out.
Now, outside of that,
Yeah, more than the lightning, I'm worried about the earthquake.
You're
crushing.
protected, though,
Yeah,
so
that's
you need
good.
to dig yourself out.
what are
Well, can I dig
Calamity
myself
and
out of a
Elena
cage?
up to doing?
But you can dig yourself out of the earth. The cage is on
Within
you.
the cage.
Okay.
So what are Calamity and Elena doing at this point?
I'm going after the next Ananga.
They're-
Now that they're
There don't appear to be any threatening at all anymore. With the dust settling and the pebbles falling to the ground, there's no more lightning, no more noise.
then I will go and see if anyone inside the wagon needs aid.
Okay. So you head that way. What's Elena doing?
How does the cage work? Like, could I help?
You have
through
to ask the wizard.
cage?
Or the
I'm
warlock.
talking to the wizard.
Now, I'm curious, is your cage immovable?
My cage is centered on Truk. So wherever
But what
Truk
I'm-
Is
what
it like
saying
a
is-
glass bubble, or is it like a barred?
it's a glass bubble.
So I can't like reach in and help dig him out.
No.
Nothing
goes
gets in or out.
Nothing gets in or
Okay.
out.
That's a clear part
So
of it.
that's pretty
Even
much
air.
So he
Yeah.
no
Even
So-
air.
Even air. So he has to kind of wiggle himself out of the dirt, but not. But
So you made the cage
Is the
big
earthquake
enough.
still going?
But at least no, because the pressure on his body has been ceased because of the cage.
I mean, aside from within the bubble, is the earthquake outside of the bubble still going?
I don't know. That's the GM.
Was that your
no, I was-
concentration thing?
When I was
or
talking about it, everything
oh.
has settled. There's no more sound, so the earth's not
everything's
quaking.
settling.
Yeah.
Okay. Except the screams from the wagon.
So Truk
No,
is
there's
working
no
on
screams from the
dislocating
wagon
his
either.
They're
shoulders
settled too.
and making himself as small as possible to crawl up in the cracks.
See,
to get out.
he's saying all this, but this is all the result of a sonic boom when our ears are going to start ringing any moment now.
It very well could be.
It's tinnitus.
I have that all the time. So from there, Calamity, when you reach the wagon, there is no consciousness at the wagon. So the minions and Wylena are unconscious.
I'll see to the minions first.
Fuck Wylena.
Well, he'll
I
do
mean,
that
Truk
second.
already does.
Yeah.
CPR.
And
She's a very
use some of
attractive
my
actress.
lay on hands.
So you have, well, actually, it was just one. You're able to bring one because two stayed.
Yeah.
One minion, one Wylena.
Yeah.
Okay.
CPR. Remember.
So
staying
let
alive,
me
staying alive.
because I kept thinking three. Let me go back on that. Wylena is unconscious. The minion and the two horses are deceased.
No.
Well,
Now, it says I can remove
Oh, I
one
didn't. He didn't.
disease.
I did throw them through the air.
Would deceased be a disease?
No, they're not diseased.
They're deceased.
You're just-
That's when you die from disease. You're
But if you want to lay
diseased.
some hands on Wylena, feel free.
oh, really?
I'll cup of
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll share.
I kind of got to think
disease.
for Nessie again.
she's got so many different fingerprints on her. I mean,
But yeah,
I'm willing
I'll.
to share.
She's not
I
a very
will-
good bard, so
She keeps
you gotta
snapping
give her
her.
something.
She keeps snapping her strings.
well, she had a great voice.
Yeah, I must have been distracted by her.
Yeah.
Her boob was out.
Apparently, I have a little bit of necrophilia in me or something. Because
I'm sorry. So you're having sex with your minion or the horse?
yes, the horse.
Her boob was out.
Her boob was out from being tossed around.
Necrobestiality.
So no, I got a 6.
Necrophilia and bestiality, necrophistiality.
I got a 6.
You're
So
feasting on necros?
He's got a 6 with modifier.
Now, what was it? What was it you were doing?
I was attempting to just revive and heal her
He was trying to touch her
Okay.
in a nice place, but he touched her in a naughty
How?
place.
How?
with lay on hands.
Oh, with using your move. Okay.
Yeah,
And you
I
failed.
I did say all this.
He laid the hand on the wrong
So
place.
just to be clear, I want to, for the people at home,
You said it,
Wylena
but there
is
were four other people
she's a
talking.
very, very attractive female elf bard who wears plaid skirts. She's unconscious. Calamity laid hands on her and failed.
Yeah.
And now we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
And then I sprung a boner. What?
That's it.
That's because it didn't work.
Yeah, she died by being impaled.
Well, you know.
We've all seen your wobbly bits.
It wasn't that big. It was a splinter, not a. Go ahead.
What we will do from that is we're going to hold on to that failure for now. You just
Okay.
don't help her. She's unconscious. She is clear. She probably has several broken bones. Her arm looks like odd, like her arm is bent the wrong way at the elbow, and the impact definitely didn't do her well.
Can I throw an interjection in?
You just did.
May I throw a explanation in?
Yes.
You
So-
can't You can tell it to her. To
Well,
Nessalus.
if it's from Kurt, it's okay. If it's from Truk,
Well, it's
Truk can only hear Nessalus.
Yeah.
It is a whirly interjection. Maybe
Very
Truk
well.
should offer it at a campfire.
Go for it.
So Wylena has been a bit of a joke because her strings have been breaking and her.
Well, that was
But-
only supposed to be a quirk.
Right, but she is
Not a joke.
she is a skilled bard.
She is.
She has a beautiful voice.
Yeah.
She knows many great tales of heroic epics. And while we've kind of been joking a lot about how attractive she is a bard who potentially will tell the tale of this party.
Yes.
And so, to some degree, Truk thinks that protecting her is of importance, not out of. It's not so much that he has a selfish interest, but he has a sense that what the party is doing is more important than themselves.
Okay.
And that someone like Wylena needs to be able to tell the tale. And so, trying to throw the wagon across the entire battlefield seems silly, but it's not
part
because
of a more epic tale.
yeah, were he to die.
Yeah.
Were he to die and Nessalus live on and Elena live on and Calamity live on, then it's very likely that Wylena will be the one who tells that tale to far kingdoms.
Okay.
And there is always another evil that arises or another demon that comes, and people are inspired by those tales. And so while we've been joking about her, he actually thinks that she is a very significant character in this epic.
Okay.
So she's the one that's going to carry the story on.
Yeah, and I mean, whether or not he thinks she's cute and whether or not he sleeps with her is actually much less relevant than that she is. Well, she is a potentially
needs to
great
survive.
bard.
Yes.
She's young.
Yes.
She's not like an epic bard, but she's very talented in the bardic lore, which is important.
Oh, no. She needs to survive.
God, Mickie, whatever it is, stop picking at it.
I can't help it.
And with
Slap
that, who's doing what next?
I'm in a cage and I'm trying
You're
to dig
in a
out.
cage and you're trying to get out. Can we,
Can I roll to dig out?
Despite all your rage, you're still just a rat in a cage.
That's very true. Good reference. Can I roll to dig out or something?
No.
No. Okay.
No. As it is, you're not being collapsed right now. Right? You are safe. But until Nessalus does something with the cage, you're I don't know, in limbo.
Can I move
Because
the
of the
cage?
description of it. That would be a question I'd ask you, because it's your spell, and it does not say you cannot move it, nor does it say you can. Therefore, it's up to you on how you do that
So let's see.
and what it means.
The din of battle is past.
Yes,
My compatriots are safe.
yes.
So she can afford to spend a little extra concentration.
Okay.
This is not something she's not done before, but her diary recently introduced her to this cage
Yes.
spell.
Ooh, can I describe it?
No. So
Which part?
How the cage moves.
shut up. So
I imagine it's kind of like a tank.
God damn it, James. Shh. All right, so she just recently learned this spell. She's concentrating really hard. The din of battle has settled. Her
Whoosh.
compatriots are safe. Shut
I
up,
love
James,
watching
that's
Drunk
okay.
Mickie try to figure out how to work a new spell.
I have to take all my brain power.
God, she's such a smart Haitian.
Oh my God!
Dick. Okay. Because of that, I'm going to dispel the spell and let you get crushed.
Well, fine.
Truk's dead.
Truk is now dead. So she's going to, focus, turn towards the cage, focus both hands on it, and she's going to go, in her mind, she's like, okay, diary, you taught me that I have full control of this spell. Therefore, that means that if I imagine it moving, the cage will then move.
It's
And
just true, not an X-wing.
Shut up. And whatever is within the cage should also move.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So she's going to focus on moving the cage up and out of the ground and lay it on
I have an idea.
top of the ground.
There is no
I
try.
have an idea.
Go ahead.
So you said it's glass.
No, it's not glass. It's just
Well, it's
force.
like glass.
It's force.
Okay. But it's not like bars. It's like glass, like a bubble.
It's like a bubble.
He's
I think
Bubble
it's a-
Boy.
I think it's a hamster ball.
It's a hamster ball, so he
It's a
has to
hamster
walk
ball.
on it.
You have to move the hamster ball.
All right, so that's
Interesting.
what's going to happen.
Okay.
She's going to try to move the bubble.
You're a hamster.
Okay. It happens. It works.
It worked.
Truk just imitated a hamster, just so you know.
And that's a hamster.
That's a hamster.
Okay. And then
more
what
of
are
a
you going
gerbil.
to do once it's out?
Once it's out, I would dispel the spell.
Okay. So at this point, Truk, the force holding you in. And I have no idea what it looks like from the inside. Truk, what did this look like from the inside?
There was no visible force.
So you were just in blackness? Like utter
No.
blackness?
It looked like the regular world, but I couldn't move.
He's a
beyond it.
mime.
Okay.
So-
And nobody could hear you.
Yeah, it was just, the world looked exactly the same to me, but I could not move beyond the barrier.
Okay.
Mime.
Once that barrier drops, you...
Collapse.
Yeah, yes, I collapsed because notwithstanding, regardless of what hit points say, this was all very, very draining.
Oh, yeah,
The power
it
of
was.
trying to throw that wagon
Yeah.
was very, very draining. So even though I try to be as strong and adept as I can, I'm very, very drained, and I'm on the ground, just breathing and sighing and heavily. And then to the extent that I recover, I check on my compatriots. And then I want to check on the wagon with the minions and with Wylene and see if everyone is safe.
So with that, one of the things that Truk is going to realize is with all of that expenditure of energy and will, you are now shaky, and this is an actual term under dexterity.
Okay.
You are going to have the condition of shaky, which means that until that is fixed, every dexterity roll will have a -1.
Okay?
Man,
Okay.
that's pretty harsh.
That's
Yeah.
all right. That makes sense.
These conditions are something I like to use more often, but because of the way we do the podcast, you end up in places you can rest all the time and fix things. But for right now, that's going to be there.
Okay.
At the wagon, you see that Wylena is in her unconscious and I would say severely injured state, not mortally, but severely injured.
Oh no!
Is she more shocked than usual?
She is unconscious, so yeah.
Her arm is in a weird
Yeah.
position.
Yeah. She's
Someone
got
needs to splint it.
it's like she's triple jointed on her elbow.
So I would say that one of Truk's goals, he wants to get her healed and better, but also you remember she has been training with his bow, and he knows she's never going to be an epic hero with the party, but he would like her to be able to not only tell the tale, but to be able to contribute as a fighting member of the party going forward. So perhaps over the next part of the journey, that would be something he would work with her.
I wonder if there's any advantage with a bow if your elbow can bend the other way.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe we can get her healed properly.
That just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
You want to try lay on hands again?
I can always do that.
I mean, how many people can
He has
shoot
a lingering
behind them?
failure.
She's a good one to practice lay on hands with.
Whoa.
Does Calamte want to practice lay on
Whoa.
hands with Wylena?
Sure, why not? I mean, is there any penalty for using starting moves over and over?
Oh, heck no. The only penalty is when you roll
Try
poorly.
again.
And like I say, there's a lingering failure about, but it doesn't stop you from trying.
So I'm just going to pick myself up and try it again.
There you go.
Oh, pick yourself
Get back
there
up on
you
that horse.
There you go.
That is a 10.
Okay.
So the first time you were distracted because you
Yeah.
had never been that close to Wylena.
So read out lay on hands so we can see what
When
is
you
going to happen.
touch someone skin to skin and pray for their well-being. At this point, I don't actually pray. I just remove a coin
From her?
from them, yeah.
Oh, so you take some of her money.
Yep.
That's cool.
You pickpocket.
Yeah,
pickpocket
it's
them
an
as I heal.
exchange.
It is.
Right.
Goods
Roll
for
plus
services.
charisma.
Yeah.
On a 10 plus, you heal 1d8 damage or remove 1 disease.
Okay.
On a 7 and 9, they are healed, but the damage or disease is transferred to you.
So in this
What
case,
did
you're
you get?
welcome to roll the d8, but it's kind of irrelevant for the minion. You will just bring her back to consciousness.
I get to roll 2d8 because I have Hospitaller.
Yeah.
So,
She will be,
it butt my pocket.
as far as minions go, she will be fully healed.
Okay.
But she'll still have her broken arm and a couple of broken ribs.
Good Lord.
However, she is now at least conscious and able to function.
Now, just from a dungeon world perspective, what would keep him from just rolling that again and trying to heal her ribs?
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't heal ribs. He heals damage, so to speak. In this case, she needs medical attention. And he's not a medical practitioner.
Yeah, I removed her from what? I made her stable.
Yeah.
She's no longer
Stabilized.
So
stable,
what would it take? A cleric or healing
The
potion?
way I would play something like that, and the way we will play it, is she needs to go visit somebody who can set a bone, put on a splint, and that kind of stuff. It's not
so she
a
needs like
roll
the
to heal.
Harry Potter bone knit thing.
Maybe, yeah.
Could Rigar bones.
So no one in
Yeah.
the party can get her better.
Well, somebody could try those actions, set a bone, what have you, but she'll still need time to heal.
Hey,
As
Elena.
a minion, it'll act different from when characters get healed, right?
Helena.
I'm just going to treat it as a little more, I don't know, excessive is probably a good way to put it.
I don't know. You've got like field experience. Do you know how to set a bone?
I was just thinking that I remembered something about that in the past, and then I realized that was the Halloween episode. So
Never.
that's where I was just now.
You could spout lore. Anybody could spout lore. Do you know how to set a
I
bone?
feel like I might be a white tiger who knows how
Yeah.
to set bones.
I mean, I think we should all check to see whether any of us has any better healing.
Yeah. It's not a matter of healing. This is
Did you
just a
say
matter of
spout
fixing
lore?
broken
This is
things.
just a matter of time
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
Did you say
exactly.
Spout lore.
Yeah. And the whole point of spout lore is you're just drawing on knowledge that you have. Do you have knowledge of how to fix a broken bone?
Nah.
Or set a
Yes.
broken bone?
It's an 8.
An 8?
Oh, Mickie
There's
failed.
some knowledge.
Oh.
Mark it.
And remember, failure is important here. Because not only do you get experience, but it
well,
means
it's
something
4
else
plus
happens.
3 because it's
I-
intelligence, right?
I have
Yeah, spout
a
lore
nine-
is intelligence, so it's
I
not
have a
a
9
failure.
minus 1 for 8.
Okay. So between the three of you, you are able to put that together. Normally the way spout lore works is I give you a little bit of information, but 3 different people did it, so we're just going to treat it as amongst the 3 of you, you grab sticks of the right rigidness and maybe some twine or something and get her arm.
I make a travois.
Yes, he turns her into a travois.
And we drag her back to town.
All right, so she
And
cannot.
put the wagon on top of her.
So she cannot
Drag her
play,
back.
but she's healing.
Yes, she can still sing, although her voice might be a little shaky.
But at least her arm
You know,
won't
Because
be
she
all
does,
like
she
ribs
does have a
liquid.
couple of broken ribs, so.
All
But
right.
our
She'll be
arm won't
shaky.
be afflicted.
How is
Yes.
she is a sexual servant?
God.
That was a joke for Mickie, and since she's covering her face, I'm going to just leave it at that.
We're
No,
going
no,
to-
no, no. She's a bard. People at home, why do you think such dirty things?
I don't get it. What do you mean?
She's a bard. She's here to sing. our
Mickey's
tale.
not a bard.
No,
No,
but
Mickey's not.
Lena.
Is she?
No, it's all good.
So from here, what we're going to do, as we're getting closer to the end of this episode, we're going to make the rest of our way to the city of Wint, and let's check in the town.
All right.
Right.
So I'll go to the Fires of Azkarand.
Yep.
what's that?
That's my chapter
Oh,
house.
that's right.
And I'll check in with Philippe
Philippe.
Babineau.
I like
He has a sister named Angelique.
Oh, Angelique.
I don't understand.
Oh,
And,
Nessa just rolled her eyes in lust.
I don't understand.
Shirley Babineau.
It's from an episode that was never published. That's all.
Yeah. So
You guys are referencing yourself. That's so meta.
That's
know,
a like
right?
starter,
So meta.
starter set reference, right?
No.
No.
Yeah.
It was Dungeon World.
it was a Dungeon World
Was it?
reference. It,
Yeah,
was
it
a
just
failed Dungeon World
It
campaign.
didn't make
Yeah.
the
Was that
You
the
see people.
episode?
So
You listen.
we're checking in at the Fires
Checking
of
in,
Azkaban
and
with Philippe.
the Merchant Marine unfortunately has suffered some casualties in that the one ship is either lost at sea or they mutinied. It's unclear as to which. So in order to discourage that, I tell Philippe to increase the wages
Okay.
of the remaining Merchant Marine to discourage thoughts of mutiny.
Okay. That seems reasonable.
Do we have sufficient funds to
By
do
what
that?
by what
yeah.
percentage do you want to increase? I mean, by what percentage do you want to increase the wages?
7 9/5.
7
7
and 9/5. Very well. Hold on.
Is that gross?
Is
or
that
net?
There we go. So if
5 out of 4 people don't understand fractions.
Exactly. Is it not 8 and 4/5, monsieur?
So if we are in Wint and my party is safe and no one minds, Truk would make a brief excursion to the
Bidet.
well, the
After
first
the bidet.
the absolute first
You
place
need
he
to
would go
clean up. It's been a long
is the
trip,
saltwater
yeah.
bidet because first of all he loves the older than she should be but still attractive waitress at the inn,
Ellen.
but he also just loves that feel of the saltwater bidet.
Yeah.
And doesn't wonder why Americans have not moved towards it. But
We
once
need
that
to
is
start a movement.
It just
once,
happens.
once that is done, he would
That's usually
also,
what happens before bidet.
Movements.
Movements.
yeah. He would also like to make, as long as it was okay with Nessalus and Calamite and Elena, he would like to make a brief excursion up to the Ars Arcanum. Arcus Arcanum.
Yeah, we've given it different
We've
names.
given different
but
names,
I think
but the
Arcus
Arcanum-
Arcanum.
All right, I apologize.
Either way, it's AA.
the Magic Tower. I'm
It's
going to call it
AA.
the Magic Tower.
With the rude wizard.
Because, as we may
That was
recall, they
you.
gave him some good jobs and
Yep.
some shepherding missions, and he would just like to make a brief check to see whether they know anything of the Heart of the Darkness
Okay.
or the Heart of the Night. And after that, his intention would be to hook back up as quickly as possible with Nessalus and the rest of the party.
No.
What would Nessalus be doing?
She would be
visiting
looking
town?
up Wayne
Wayne.
in town, finding out what he's been up to.
Okay.
You
know.
discover
and
Wayne's
Truth
World.
would be wondering why Nessalus was. She's setting her bar too low.
Nah, man.
Why? Like,
Sure
really,
thing. Sure
really,
thing.
Why
Sure
is
thing.
she wasting time with Wayne?
Sure thing.
Okay. I'm just making the notes here.
It's
of
a
what
strike
we're going
against
to do
her
to
in
pick up
Truth's
some people. And Elena, what's she going to do in town?
Well,
She's going to think.
She's going to go take time to meditate.
meditate.
She's going to
Yeah.
sit in a corner and think
Right.
about what
And
she's
play-
done.
She's going to
Yeah.
play chess and meditate.
Play chess. Speaking of chess, guys,
Speaking. Yeah.
where did we leave Jer?
He's back at the temple,
town?
isn't he?
At the temple, fixing the
Yeah.
room.
Fixing. He's getting everything
By
fixed.
himself.
You want to go back and help him out?
That's
wanna
a,
at
that's a
least
couple of
find
months
someone-
journey, though. Yeah.
I want to at least find someone who will head that way.
So you want to stay in town
Maybe
and try
stay
to
in
find
town and try to
somebody
recruit.
to help him out?
Mm-hmm.
That's noble.
Sounds good.
Send me a pigeon when you're done.
Send me.
That's
a,
I'm not
like a
no,
dead
pigeon
pigeon
person
in a
here.
box, or
In all seriousness, that's a good goal. Yeah, making sure Jared's taken care of.
yeah. And that's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, he's up there all by himself. He got any supplies.
The
All
rest
right.
of us have a
I would,
monastery to visit.
Ask you where I could go for.
I can just take some of your tithings from the spoils that we've collected to pay
Yeah.
for the supplies.
And
I love how he's like,
you
I'm
do
not
the
gonna
whole
do it.
trading.
I'm not going to charge her
Well,
anything. I'm just going to take her
thing.
I'm
tithings.
just going to take her share.
That's fine.
Nice.
She would willingly give it. But like, who could I trust as far as sending supplies there?
Philippe, can you answer that question for me, please?
So she would be talking to
Yeah.
Philippe.
Yeah, we will send somebody to this temple to help her out. Yes.
And do we know of any monks who might be interested in practicing this religion?
Practicing religion.
Yeah, I mean, we got to
Well, they were paladins.
exactly. So do we have
Paladins.
any ideas of how to repopulate this temple?
Monkadins. Make some monkadins. Nice. Going around, I would think actually from my perspective, I would think going around the city, you could probably find some
Yeah.
people who'd be willing to join a lost order. I don't see why not.
Volunteers.
Do you have
Yeah.
a moment to talk about our great lord,
Yeah, that could be
Lobowal?
that could be something. We could find the local printers, make up some pamphlets.
Go door to door.
So now we know what Elaine will be doing as we
Put on
wrap
some
up
black pants and white shirts and a little black tie.
as we
Get your
wrap
bicycle.
up this
Do you
episode.
have a moment?
Yeah, we'll wrap up this episode here of Adventures from the Shed as our party has found a few things to do in Wint before heading off to the monastery next. In the meantime, we'll say
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening.
bye.
Penis.
Truk has some growing pains as he learns to use the druid craft taught to him by Druganah. Upon returning to Wint, Calamte receives news that one of the ships from his merchant marines has been lost. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.